Now. This is what you call real drama. Yesterday, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya was blocked from seeing retired President Daniel Arap Moi. Now, the insinuation from the former president's camp was that DP Ruto did not make the necessary arrangements. He did not book a firm appointment. He did not confirm the appointment. Now, it is very easy to see that that is not true. Kabarak is not Gong or Kiserian. It's not just here. Yeah? And you do not get into an aircraft, helicopter, whatever it is, and fly all the way to Kabarak unless you've confirmed all the arrangements. And that is exactly what the DP Ruto camp did. Indeed, the legislator who was behind organizing this whole meeting, Baringo North Member of Parliament William Cheptumo, confirmed that he confirmed the appointment, he confirmed everything, the meeting was on. Instead, the deputy president and his entourage arrived, and all they did in Kabarak was to have lunch. Now, folks, this is extremely significant. The fact that DP William Ruto was blocked from seeing the former retired president is very, very significant. And we're going to analyze it all. Immediately we are back from the short upcoming commercial break. Don't go away.
There come a time when the nation is more important than an individual. It is because of that consideration and in consultation that I say I shall not offer myself for any, as a candidate for any position.
Welcome back. Now, there are very many people who do not like Deputy President William Ruto. And obviously, these people are very happy about what happened to DP Ruto. The shame, the embarrassment must bring a lot of joy into the hearts of many Kenyans today. Yeah. However, even in a celebration, there's something we need to take very careful note of. And it affects all of us. And it is this. This latest incident is a confirmation that Ruto sio member. Ruto is not a member. A member of what? A member of the exclusive ruling class. Now, I don't know whether you've been caught up in a situation like this, because I have. Yeah, whereby you're with friends, you're already socializing somewhere, in the vicinity of the entrance of a club, you're socializing, you're talking, you're discussing, you're mingling, and then it gets dark and you have to go inside the clubhouse. And then as soon as you get into the door, an askari stops you and tells you, can I see your member's card, please? You don't have one. And then the member very, very emphatically tells you, you're not a member. And then within no time, some officials of the club come to you, they push the askari aside. Then they also push you aside. They tell you, look, Chris Kumekucha, I'm sorry. But you see, you're not a member of the club. I hope you understand. These are just club rules. It's not personal. We have very strict club rules. Yeah, you're not a member. Yeah, so I'm sorry. I don't know if somebody can escort you to your car. Yeah, Ruto the hustler is not a member. And this confirms something else that should really concern Kenyans. Yeah? You know, in the olden days, the defensive position, somebody put it very well on this channel, in the comments area of this channel. The defensive position is that you circle the wagons. You put all the wagons around the place you're defending. Yeah, you know, they used to have wagons. These wagons were drawn by horses or whatever. Yeah, and inside the wagons, you'd have gunpowder, you'd have ammunition, you'd have those rifles that fire one shot at a time. Yeah. So when you circle the wagons, you know you're protecting your position. Okay? That is exactly what is happening with the political class in Kenya. And this latest incident is a firm confirmation. When you circle the wagons, it is strictly, the people inside the wagon or inside the circle are strictly members of that community or members of that army, whatever. Yeah? Anybody who is a member, it doesn't matter who you are, cannot be inside. And this is exactly what happened to DP William Ruto. Now, why is this of great concern to Kenyans? Very simple. This is of great concern to Kenyans because when people circle wagons, they're about to do something that involves only them. They're about to do something that going forward protects their interests and only their interests. Okay? That is really the bottom line of all this. However, let's just go into it a little deeper and see, you know, the dynamics playing here and, you know, what's happening here really. Dennis Itumbi of State House, who's in charge of the 36 bloggers, had a very interesting comment about this incident. And his comment seems to say something very clearly, that the person who blocked DP William Ruto from seeing the retired president was none other than Baringo Senator and son of the retired president, Gideon Moi. Now, at this juncture, it is very important for us to understand the relationship between the Mois and the Rutos. Okay, that is extremely important so that we were able to fully understand what's going on here. And to do that, we need to go back to the year 1991. Now, in 1991, Moi was about to face his first serious election in history. Okay, in his long political career, Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi had never been involved in an election. Hard to believe, eh? And yet, he was about to face a very fierce, vicious presidential election. Now, of course, it would have been best, yeah, when you're about to face such an election. You've had experience, a councillor's election, you've had experience, several MP, Member of Parliament elections under your belt, yeah. You have experience, you have the bruises, yeah, therefore you're ready to face it. However, Moi had never been in an election prior to 1992. Let me explain. When Moi was picked to be a member of the LECO, Legislative Council, nobody opposed him. In fact, the way Moi entered politics is that Moi was a school teacher, and the people in the surrounding area went to him and they said, you are learned, you're educated, we need you please to help us. We need you to lead us. There's nobody else. Please lead us. That's how it happened. Now, in the years that followed, Moi never had an election really for MP. Every time there was an election, Moi just went back in and opposed until he became president. I remember my late political lecturer, when giving me this information, told me, and he was very excited at that time, it will be very interesting to see how Moi fares in this election because he has never participated in an election before. And then he'd laugh. Of course, it did not cross the mind of my political lecturer that there would be something called rigging, yeah, manipulation of the votes. Yeah, it didn't cross his mind. Anyway, I've digressed too much. So in 1991, Moi knew that the cards were stacked up against him. So one of the tactics developed in conjunction with the intelligence community, oh yes, yeah, and a man called James Kanyotu, yeah, whom we have talked a lot about on this channel, came up with a scheme to raise huge sums of money, yeah, and that is precisely what the Goldenberg scam was all about. Anyway, the money was now raised. Now, the second part of the plan was to distribute this money. And that is how a lobby group for the re-election of President Daniel Arap Moi came up. Yeah, it was created. And the group was called Youth for Kanu 92. Now, Gideon Moi had a mtu wa mkono, yeah, a very enthusiastic young man, but very impoverished. Yeah, and that man was called William Ruto. A nobody, son of a nobody, grandson of a nobody, great-grandson of a nobody. Now, interestingly, while his colleagues at the Youth for Kanu 92 would take their stash at the end of a day of distributing cash, yeah, to bars, to night spots, to entertainment spots, yeah, this young man called William Ruto would take his stash home. The young impoverished man was very determined that this windfall would actually be a launching pad for him, so that never again would he be called a poor man. But his personal ambition aside, the young man was fiercely loyal to Gideon Moi, yeah, the man who had picked him off the streets, yeah, the man who had picked him from jobless corner, where he used to go very hungry every lunchtime, doesn't even have fare to get home. Yeah, that's where Gideon Moi had picked him for greater things. And therefore, William Ruto was very loyal to Gideon Moi. And Gideon Moi sensed this. And that is why Gideon Moi picked Ruto for the Youth for Kanu 92 lobby group. He needed somebody he could trust, yeah, and he needed somebody totally loyal to the Mois. Now, the rest is history. This young impoverished boy grew up into a giant financially, okay? Now, the issue is this. Gideon Moi cannot wrap his mind around, he can't, yeah? He can't wrap his mind around the fact that this boy he picked up, yeah, is now a threat to him politically. Is now not only a threat, is now more powerful than him politically. How did that happen? And therefore, there is that very deep bitterness, yeah, which is virtually impossible to wipe out, against Ruto. Now, for old man Moi, his father, yeah, Daniel Teacher Arap Moi, I have no doubt on my mind that he once asked his son Gideon very bitterly, "Huyu mtu ulitoa wapi?" Loosely translated, where did you pick up this guy from? It's like you employ a houseboy, you know, a cook in your house, and then this cook rises and rises from serving you tea, from serving you at your table, to actually sitting on the table with you. Yeah? And you're one of those people who is not humble. And therefore you cannot wrap your mind around the fact that this man is my mpishi. Huyu ni mpishi wangu, huyu ni mfanyikazi wangu. This is my cook. And we are sitting on the same table, negotiating what? You get my drift? And so, it does not matter what title DP William Ruto is ever going to have. It does not matter how much money DP Ruto will end up with. But in the minds of Gideon Moi and his father, the way they look at Ruto will never change. It never ever will. Now, that is what's happening on a personal level. Now, if we come to reality, DP William Ruto has a lot of clout. Yeah? He controls voters in the vast Kalenjin Rift Valley. And we are talking about votes that are in the region of 3 million. Yeah? Those voters will always look to DP William Ruto before they vote. So Gideon Moi will go to Rift Valley, address a huge rally, tell people many stories, give people many promises, and then his former mtu wa mkono, William Ruto, will come. Yeah, people may heckle him, People may shout so that he cannot talk, yeah? But finally those people will troop to polling stations and do exactly what William instructed. That is the reality. Now, unfortunately, Moi and his son, or rather Gideon Moi and his father, can smell blood. They see an opportunity to deal with this former servant of theirs once and for all, and to put him in his place. Now. Do you think they will not take it? Do you think they will not grab it with two hands? By blocking DP Ruto from seeing the retired president, what Gideon was really saying was that we have nothing to discuss with you. We, the Mois, have absolutely nothing to discuss with our former servant. That's really the long and short of it. But there's something even more disturbing here, and it has to do with William Ruto. The fact is that it seems that Ruto is getting more and more desperate by the day. Indeed, Ruto would not have any reason to visit the elderly retired Moi unless he was desperate. Why is he desperate? Because the handshake between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga has swallowed up everything, including Ruto's ambitions to be president in 2022. Because now it has become very clear that Raila and Uhuru are setting the agenda. And even Ruto has no idea what exactly they're going to get up to. The whole idea of seeing Moi was for Ruto to strengthen his position, amongst his own people, with the Mois, strengthen his position as much as possible so that it will no longer be possible for Raila and Uhuru to ignore him. Fascinatingly, it seems that Ruto has run out of cards to play, viable cards to play. Because the game so far, and I've already said in a previous recording this was a huge mistake, has been Ruto must be president in 2022. Nobody can stop Ruto being president in 2022. Ruto must be president in 2022 by force. Now that song is sounding more and more ridiculous every day because the country has moved on to discuss issues like the upcoming referendum, changing the structure of the executive. So somebody is there shouting and insisting and issuing threats that they must be president in 2022. And meanwhile it's becoming clear that there may be no presidency in 2022. And even if there's one, it's not the kind of presidency Ruto would be interested in. It would be a ceremonial president or a president with minimal powers. And he can't change his rhetoric or tune to start saying he must be executive prime minister in 2022. Because executive prime ministers are not elected directly. What happens? They become prime minister by virtue of their representation in parliament. So Ruto is basically very, very stuck. And this desperate effort to see retired President Moi was in a bid to at least get his bus out of the mud. But it was sabotaged by Gideon Moi. And clearly the message from Gideon Moi is let's play now. The daggers are drawn, let's play now. Gideon to Ruto, you're a master political player, you're a genius political person. Sawa, let's see your move. I'm ready. That's what Gideon is saying. Now it is said that the retired president has promised to see Ruto and his entourage on another day. However, even if this meeting happens, the damage has already been done. The message has already gone forward to the recipients or the recipient. Bottom line, we should expect nothing but shocks after shocks after shocks coming in from the Rift Valley. The die is really cast. The bell has rung. At the corner of the boxing ring. Let the boxing match begin. Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.